Why should everyone read and write? How is it going to help us? If you're overthinking, write. While writing, you get a clear picture of what you're going through, and you would be able to segregate between the real problems and the unwanted anxieties. Also, it is believed that if you pen down all your problems, 70% of them would be solved already. And if you are underthinking, read. When you feed your brain with useless TikToks and reels, you either envy the person who is creating it, or you just forget reality and lose track of time. Instead, try to read something. It could be a book about your favorite movie director, your favorite actor, a book about your favorite sportsman, or it could be a book on any art you like, about cooking or about fashion designing. You could also read stories on any genre. In a nutshell, we have books on any topics that is under and above the sun. So choose one that would suit your interest. Do you want to know what my interest last week was? Here's a book on writing that has been suggested by many legends, including Stephen King, The Elements of Style by William Strunk. It has been 100 years since this book got released, and it still tops the chart for anyone who wants to master the English language. If you are a wannabe author, if you want to start blogging, if you want to create content, if you're a common man who is trying to write journal every day about your day-to-day activities, if you want to excel and outsmart others by submitting the best assignment in your school, by presenting the best project and review in your college, or by drafting the best email without any errors in your organization, this video is for you.
Hey guys, welcome to Provoking Pages.
Here are the 13 rules to help you improve the communication skills. If you're going to use 3 or more items or terms in a single sentence and going to connect them with a conjunction, that is and or, use a comma after each term except for the last. Do not join independent clauses by a comma. If 2 sentences are not dependent on each other, you can either break them into 2 different sentences, or you can use a semicolon. Do not connect them with a comma. Do not break dependent clauses by a period. It should always be connected by a comma. The possessive singular nouns should always have an apostrophe S. For example, Peter's, Alan's. At the same time, there should not be any apostrophes for the words like its, theirs, ours, and the like. What is parenthesis? Any detail you add as an additional information to the subject is called parenthesis. So in this example, you can see Ash is the subject and YouTuber is the parenthesis. So always enclose the parenthesis between 2 commas. Always try to avoid words such as so and so that, because they are all colloquial and they cannot be used in a formal writing. You can use as and since as better alternatives for so. While writing a paragraph, always start with the topic sentence. That is, the first sentence of the paragraph should give the crux of the entire paragraph, and you should follow by sentences that adds more value to the paragraph. And finally, finish it with a conclusion about what you're trying to convey. The emphatic words of the sentences should be placed at the end of the paragraph. Always use active voices. Always. Passive voices should be avoided as much as possible, because active voices are straight and they are to the point. Put the statements in the positive form. Instead of using negative forms or negative words like not, try to use more positive words in the sentences. That is, use definite, specific, and concrete language while you are writing. For example, instead of saying she is not powerful, you could say she is weak, because that is more direct and that gives more meaning and more sense to the readers. Omit needless words. A sentence should contain no unnecessary words, and a paragraph should contain no unnecessary sentences. Always stick to one tense. The usual mistake we make is that we mix sentences while we are talking or while we are writing. If you are starting with the present tense, always stick to the present tense till you complete the passage. Here are some of the common blunders. If, in case. if and in case means the same. So you can just use either if or in case. And we see people using she can able to do that. Can and able wouldn't come together because can means the ability. And we see people using did not brought. Again, this is like mixing two different sentences. And the other common mistake we find in the emails is that please revert back. Reverting is like reversing a process. So revert back wouldn't be appropriate. Instead, you can use please get back to me or please respond to the email at the earliest. Try to avoid the jargon and cliches. By jargon, I say try to avoid technical terms while you're writing because that would demotivate the reader and that would disconnect them while reading the content. And also try to avoid cliches which they would easily skip, especially in emails. Also, as a last point, be precise and concise with your content. Brevity is the key here. Avoid adjectives like surely, truly, really. Again, adjectives should be used very sparingly, only when it is needed. I know this video is different from our other videos, but while reading this book, I thought this might help a few who really want to improve their communication skills. If it does help, just drop a comment so that I could make more videos on this front. And I would like to share my personal experience that it is never too late to learn. Just before a couple of years, I relearned the basic grammar. I started writing journals, I started writing book reviews, and I was able to publish a book on my own. I see there are students and people out there who feel demotivated just because they are not really good with the communication skill. But trust me, it is just a matter of time. I am really positive that you could master the language in a month or two if you genuinely put your effort into it and work on it all day. Again, it is never too late to start. So what are you waiting for? Start now. Cheers.
வேண்டாமே ஊர்கள் வேண்டாமே பேர்கள் வைக்காமல் போவோம் தடயங்களே. ஆங்கிலத்தில் பேசுவது தவறு ஒன்றும் இல்லை இந்த காலத்தில் பொழப்பு